Hi, and welcome to my podcast, Help Me Rhonda. I'm your host, Dr. Rhonda Karg. I'm a clinical psychologist, and each episode of this podcast, I share mental health related information with you. And today, I'm going to be teaching you what to do when you feel small. So, feeling small is feeling invisible, insignificant, like you don't matter. And people sometimes make you feel small if they aren't listening to you, or they're gaslighting you, or if they are telling you that you don't know what you're talking about, or your needs aren't considered, your boundaries are not considered. Those are all ways that people can make you feel small. All right, so in those moments, you can feel like I just don't matter to this person right now, and what's going on with me just doesn't matter. A situation in which I find myself feeling small sometimes is in customer service situations. As some of you know, I have a situation going on with Truist Bank where I can't access any of my money. My account's locked, but the bank is still taking money from me. And there's no one that has been able to help me. I've spent 20 hours trying to get this fixed. And today I just decided that I needed to practice some good self-care. Because yesterday I went to the bank when I was vulnerable for having big feelings because I had not slept at all the night before, and I was very frustrated at that point because it had been 3 weeks and things were just getting progressively worse, and no one seemed to be able to help me and want to help me. And so I went down there, and I was calm until I heard something that really upset me, and that was that maybe in the next week we can give you some of your money. And in that moment I felt very small, and in that moment I got big. And I don't like getting big, guys. That's not good. So today I decided I'm not going to go over to the bank. I'm going to focus on the things that I can do, because there's all these auto draft payments I've got bill collectors contacting me. I've got utilities getting, phone turned off, things like that. And so I today decided to focus on the things that I can change. And the things that I can change are things like my electronic fund transfers, cut those off, move those to another bank, uh, you know, get all my auto drafts set up differently. And so I worked on the things that I had control over today. Oh, the other thing I decided to do was put on some makeup, because that always helps me feel a little bit better too. So I decided to focus on the things that I had control over, and that was how I practiced good self-care today. Now, there have been other times in my life where I didn't recognize this idea of feeling small and didn't understand my reaction to some situations. And as I've talked about in some of the other videos, that all of us have wounded parts, younger versions of us that can become afraid if we're in a situation that is similar to another situation that we've been in before. And it just so turns out that a situation very much like this happened with SunTrust Bank a few years ago, where I had someone hack my account, and then they locked my account, and it actually took 9 months to get my money back. And they wiped out all of my checking and all of my savings because I had overdraft protection. And I'm not the kind of person that just has family and people that will help me out. And if I'm in a situation like that, if I run out of money, it's on me. And so that was a really stressful time of my life. So when this situation happened again with the bank, with Truist, it was very triggering because it reminded me of that time in my life when I was very afraid and really struggling to pay my bills and stay afloat without getting things repossessed during that 9-month period of time. And I did have income coming in, but at that time my expenses were so high. My son was in college, and so I was supporting 2 households and his college expenses and things like that. And I just didn't have extra money laying around. I just didn't. I didn't have that. So that was a tough time. So now when this happened, it triggered me because it reminded me of this other time. And so yesterday when I was at the bank, while I was still calm, I was talking to myself and just reminding myself that this is a different situation and there's no reason to think that it's going to take 9 months to get your money back. And these people are working on things. And in the meantime, you're doing all that you can to fix the situation. And I validated my feelings and reminded myself that this is a really frustrating situation. It's okay to be upset. And I understand why you feel really small right now. And talk to myself like that in a compassionate way is a way of like soothing those wounded parts of me that were feeling really triggered in that moment. And I was good until the very end, and then I got big. But up until that point, I sat there calmly and uh, did not react in a way that where I was getting big. I was staying right sized and calm and breathing and using all my skills and all that. Okay. So when you feel small, it's important in that moment, especially if you have a tendency to get big when you feel small. When you feel small, what do you notice? What are the red flags that you're small, feeling small? Mine are that my heart starts to beat about 80 beats per minute higher. I feel tension in my jaw and in my shoulders and in my head. A lot of times I'll get like a tension headache. Even I will even kind of clench my fists like you can't treat me this way, that kind of vibe. And red flags in terms of my thoughts are you can't treat me this way. That's a red flag that I'm feeling small and I'm about to get really big. And so I need to get the hell out of Dodge right now. Because remember, guys, when we let ourselves get into the red zone and we let ourselves get big like that, it takes hours to calm down, really, for some of us. I mean, my recovery time yesterday, I would say that I was pretty amped up for about 2 hours, to be honest with you, maybe even longer than that, to be honest. Um, it was great because it gave me a lot of energy to work out last night. It gave me the energy to really push myself. I had a great workout. But I don't like getting big, guys. I don't like that. That's not good self-care. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's not, because today I needed to apologize to the people at the bank, and believe me, I did not want to do that, but I did because that was the right thing to do. Because while I didn't get as big as maybe I have gotten in other situations, I still got bigger than I'd like to be. And I did feel like I was a little harsh with them yesterday afternoon. So I did apologize to them for that because I did feel bad. It's not their fault. I believe they are trying to work on it. It's just something at the level of the bank. And I kind of took it out on the people that were there yesterday. So I feel bad about that. So I cleaned that up today, and they said that they completely understood, and like that felt better. But today I just decided that I really don't need to go back down to the bank today. I need to focus on the things that I have control over. I need to keep my body calm and just keep reminding myself that soon this is going to be in my rearview mirror, and for today I'm okay, and I'm figuring things out, and I'm just going to put one foot in front of the other and just work through this. If you have a tendency to get smaller, that's also a problem, because if you're not careful, you will withdraw, you will isolate, you will get depressed, and that's not good either. So if you feel small in that situation, a way of getting bigger would be to go and talk to the people that are having this effect on you and try to make a boundary with them about maybe some aspect of your relationship with them. If you're feeling like they're violating boundaries of yours, or maybe you haven't expressed boundaries to them, maybe this is just it could just be actually not just feeling small, but it could be like a biological reason why you're feeling depressed. Okay, it's not always about feeling small, but a lot of times it does contribute to people's depression. And so I want you to think about, how can I best take care of myself? This is always my question for you, is what do I need to do to take care of myself right now? An acronym that is really helpful for this is called HALT. And that's an acronym that stands for hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And what that means is that if you are any of those four things, if you're one of them, pause. If you're two of them, if you're either hungry, angry, lonely, tired, if you're two of them, you need to stop, you need to halt and take care of yourself. If you're hungry, have a snack. If you're tired, maybe lay down and have what I call baby blanket time, which is just basically get undressed and get in your bed, and that'll soothe you. That will definitely soothe you. You could do something like that. But if you're three of those things, hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you need to just wave at people from across the room. I promise you, because you are going to be very vulnerable to having really big feelings. And big feelings can be great, but big feelings can also cause problems and can cause suffering for you and for other people. And so we want to regulate our emotions. We don't want to have really big feelings that overwhelm us and overwhelm our capacity to cope with the situation. Okay. We want to gain mastery over that. We want to be able to regulate our emotions. We want to be able to practice good self-care if we're feeling small. And go and ask yourself, am I hungry, angry, lonely, or tired? Then if that's true, that's not a good time to deal with customer service. Okay, that's why I stayed home today. Today, I didn't sleep again last night. It's not a good day to go if I'm feeling vulnerable and I physically am compromised. So my ability to cope with big feelings is going to be lessened. So I've learned that I don't want to set myself up for having big feelings, so I stayed home. So practice the HALT acronym, and if you find yourself feeling small because of some situation in your environment where you're maybe feeling disrespected, or that people don't care about you, or that you don't matter, or that people aren't listening to you, or people don't understand you, if you're having those feelings, remember it's important to go soothe yourself so that your feelings don't get too big, or you don't shrink down and get smaller. Okay, I don't want that to happen either. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. And if you feel like you want to withdraw, or you feel like you're getting depressed, or you feel like you're about to get real angry, notice, how am I feeling physically? What thoughts am I having? What am I doing in my behavior? Is there anything like clenched fists that shows me that I'm getting ready to get real big? So start paying attention to the red flags that you're feeling small. I would love to hear your thoughts on this idea of being small and what to do if you feel small. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you tuning in. Have a good day.